greenwashing is an incredibly topical issue, and especially when I made my comments earlier about the need for standards and better data and better transparency and taxonomies. Part of that is to enable comparability between different products and also between different initiatives. If we look at greenwashing, I think it's an interesting topic as well, because part of what you're essentially trying to capture is there a entity that is making statements or claims about what they're doing that aren't actually representative of what's going on under the hood? And I think part of the problem here is definitely a lack of standards and a lack of data, but I think it's also a lack of comparability or understanding and some capability within the market more broadly. So if we think about something being labeled as an ESG fund, there are around 1,000+ different ways that ESG can be put into a fund or implemented or integrated. And so I think that there's a lot of these problems about the broad definitions of specific products and what they actually do. And what we're seeing is, especially within Europe, but also within Hong Kong more locally, and within Asia more broadly, is a shift towards making narrower definitions about what can be labeled as ESG and the types of integration and the types of support that you need to be able to provide in order to be able to make substantive claims about the sustainability credentials of a product. So I think that we're going to see a rapid acceleration in this area. Part of it needs to be predicated on better data, but especially for European asset managers from March next year, for any product in France, there are incredibly strict classifications around what you need to do and how you need to report the characteristics of your funds. And we're starting to see these sorts of regulations come to Asia. I think that the challenges that people will face is that the data availability can be challenging to be able to make these statements. So if we look at having 90% coverage or similar sorts of coverage of a fund in order to make a sustainability statement, that can be very challenging for a small cap Asia fund, for example. So I think that there's a number of challenges, but that the asset manager community is definitely gearing up to take a lot of this on board.